Draw the Day creative videos. My name's Jodie Silverman and I work as an artist for Cartwheel Arts. I've created this video so that you can follow along at home, and I'll show you what materials you'll need. Today's activity is all about taking your time and noticing. So let's grab some materials and we can get creative together. Today's activity is called Light Play, and it's all about taking your time and noticing. As you can see, I made this piece earlier and I've stuck it on the window with some blue tack. I'm just going to take a minute to look at this piece and notice all the different things that are going on there. As you can see, this piece is transparent, so the light is shining through it, and you can see where the tissue paper is. There's lots of vivid colours. Here are the materials you'll need for today's activity. First off, I've got some Mod Podge, but you can also use PVA or you could use a glue stick. Then I've got a plain old pencil. Then I've got some blue tack. Then I've got some scissors. Please ask an adult to help you with the scissors if you need to. I'm sure they wouldn't mind helping. And then I've got some coloured cellophane and some coloured tissue paper. Lastly, I've got a plastic sandwich bag. You could also use a transparent plastic bag for this. It's quite nice to use a plastic bag because it's nice to recycle things for your artwork. Okay, so there's all your materials. You might want to pause the video for a minute now while you get all your bits and bobs together, and then we'll get creative. So today we're going to start off with our plastic bag. I'm just going to lay it flat. And I'm just going to start off by cutting out some shapes out of my tissue paper. Now I've got a little cheat for this, so that you don't have to cut out lots of shapes over and over again. What you can do is just grab a section with all the different colours in, and then you can just cut into it. Remember to ask an adult for help cutting things out if you need help. So you just hold in all your bits together, and I'm going to cut a leaf shape. There we go. So now when I separate all my bits, you can see that I've got lots of leaves in lots of different colours, and I didn't have to cut them all out individually. So I'm just going to pop those to one side. I think next I'm going to cut out a bird shape. So this shape is a little bit more tricky, so I'm going to get my pencil and I'm going to draw onto my top layer of tissue paper. I'm just going to draw a little bird shape, a really simple kind of bird, like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to grab a section of tissue paper and I'm going to cut through all the layers, and to make it a little bit easier, I'm just going to cut a square around my bird. There we go, just move that out of the way, and then I'm going to hold all my bits together, all my layers together, and I'm going to cut round my pencil line. Oops, just missed a few of the layers at the bottom there. There we go. There, so when we separate them, we've got lots of birds. And we can turn some of them around as well, so they don't all have to be facing the same way. And then the last shape that I'm going to cut out with my tissue paper is a circle. So I'm going to use one of the little sections that I cut off before, and I'm just going to cut a circle shape. And remember, if you need to, you can always draw out these shapes before you cut into them. There we go. There, so I've got some little circles there. And then I'm going to use a bit of my cellophane. And I think I'm going to make some clouds out of my cellophane. So I'm just going to cut these out individually because I want them to be all different. I want a bit of variety with my clouds. So I'm just going to wing it with this. I'm not going to draw onto my cellophane because it's a bit tricky to draw onto. So the good thing about clouds is they're all different shapes and sizes, so there's no wrong way to draw a cloud. You just need to give it nice curved edges to get it looking kind of cloud-like. It's a bit fiddly this, so just take your time if you need to. There we go. There's a nice cloud. I think I'm going to do a couple more. I'm going to make a small one this time. You know, it makes me think of cutting out these clouds. It makes me think of being outside in the summertime, and you know, when you just lie on the grass and look at the clouds in the sky and see what shapes you can see in the clouds and just kind of watch them slowly roll by. There we go. So I've got my clouds there. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is put my birds on. What I discovered is it's easier to put your glue straight onto your plastic than it is to put your glue onto your tissue paper. If you put glue onto the tissue paper, it tends to stick to your fingers and it all gets a bit fiddly. So I'm going to use a brush for this, but obviously if you've got a glue stick, you won't need to use a brush. So I'm just going to paint my glue on where I want my birds to go. And I'm going to have two birds facing each other at the top. There we go. So that's my first bird. My second bird. So they just kind of look like they're having a chat with each other. Although I'm not quite sure what birds talk about. They probably just argue about whose tree it is. So underneath my birds, I'm going to create a flower. So I'm going to get one of my circles and I'm going to paint my glue on here. Just put my circle down. Don't worry if you can see blobs of glue on your plastic, because this glue will dry clear. So once it's all dry, you won't be able to see the glue. So I'm just going to paint around where I want my petals to be, like so. And then I'm going to stick my petals down. Oops. So don't worry if you get some areas sort of overlapping with your bird, because you want to create some overlaps, because it looks a bit more interesting when the light shines through your petals and your different layers. So you don't have to do this design, you can do any design you want. You could just do a totally abstract design and just use patterns, but I chose to do nature because I quite like nature. I find it quite relaxing and calming. There we go. So I think underneath this flower I'm going to add 2 more birds, but I'm going to have my birds sort of facing away from each other, because I've started to create this little story where these birds are arguing over whose tree it is, and they're falling out with each other now, so they're going to be sort of facing away from each other. There we go. So there's one bird. There's the other bird. And underneath it, I think I'm going to do another flower. But this time I'm going to use a different colour for the centre. And I'm going to go back in with my glue and just paint on where I want my petals to be. Like so. There we go. So I think we're just 1 petal short, so I'm just going to cut out an extra one. There we go. Oh no, we're 2 petals short. Okay, so that's my second flower, and then I think I'm going to use these leftover dots to sort of create a pattern around the flowers. So I've done this sort of very symmetrical, but you don't have to make it symmetrical. You just do your own thing. Just be the boss of your own creative universe. Go. Put that one at the top. And then I think to break up the symmetry a little bit, I'm going to have one more bird at the bottom, and that kind of finishes off my little story as well, because I think this bird is the bird who has won the tree, and he's a slightly different colour. So I think in my imagination this bird has come along and scared off the other two birds, and he's won the argument, he's won the tree. So I'm going to pop him at the bottom. It's great being creative because you can just make up all these stories and just entertain yourself for hours and hours. So now I'm going to add my cellophane, and I'm going to overlap it slightly with the other elements that are on the page. I'm going to pop this one right in the middle. There we go. And don't worry if you can see glue through it, because the glue will eventually sort of dry clear. Then this one, I'm going to put that smack bang over my flower at the bottom, like that. And this one, I think I'll overlap that at the bottom as well, like so. I think that's complete now. So let's just have a little look at it. Sometimes you have to just step back and have a little look at things and decide whether they're finished or not, but I think this is definitely finished. I'll just see if I can hold it up to get the light to reflect on it a little bit, so you can see that coloured cellophane. And then when this is all dry, I can use my blue tack and I can post it in the windows, and all the neighbours will be able to see it when they walk past, and hopefully it will make them smile. So that is light play. I hope you enjoyed following along with the video today. If you did, please like and share with your friends and family. We'd love to see what you created. Please tag us at Cartwheel Arts and hashtag Draw the Day in any pictures that you post online. You can also email your pictures to admin@cartwheelarts.org.uk, and we'll feature you in our Draw the Day online gallery. Until next time, take care. Bye bye.